Hey guys, welcome to the TNT podcast. We're discussing everything millennial and more.
Thoughts and opinions reflect views of our own.
I'm Toni.
I'm Terry. Let's get to the tea. The topic, we're talking about Jackie and Shantel.
Oh, that's true.
Jackie Christie, and you got Shantel's married. I don't know her maiden.
About basketball wives,
Okay.
right? And Jackie and Shantel. Jackie's the only wife on there. She's the only basketball wife.
She is the only basketball wife.
She's been reigning supreme as that. And her daughter is now on the newest season.
She's on the newest season. She's also a basketball wife.
Oh.
She has two children. She now has two children. She's also a basketball wife. I don't remember the name of the person that she's married to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching the show for them, not us. If I'm being honest.
So I always joke with Terry because I'm always saying to her, "Who keeps the lights on over there?" Because I don't even watch that show no more.
Me.
But I have been clued in, obviously, via the internet about what's been happening with Jackie and her daughter. So I can give my little 2 cents just based off of that. And also, like I said, I was a previous viewer, so it's a little bit, you know.
So last night's episode, I don't know if you watched last night's episode, but pretty much that episode was the episode after the bomb where Jackie snuffed her daughter. That to me was just, first of all, I just believe that entire episode could have been scrapped. I got questions for Shawnee, because Shawnee, what happened? But you know, I mean, I don't know. So Shawnee, what happened? Let us know. I think that entire episode could have been scrapped because I don't want to see daughter and mother going at it on TV.
Yeah.
And from being a viewer for however long that Basketball Wives has been on air, seeing Shani on the TV, and then now seeing her as an adult and a mother, still dealing with the same issues that she previously had with her mom. I can say that I do see that Jackie responds a little bit different. She's less antagonistic. However, it doesn't mean that her response is the response that is needed. It doesn't mean that her response was the okay response. I don't think how her daughter and herself went about this current situation was okay. They're both at fault, if you ask me. It was last night when I watched the episode after, pretty much Shani was talking with the other lady. She's pretty much like, it happened and I'm done with it. She's basically saying like she's not talking to her mom anymore. That, for me, it's like, for it to get there.
Yeah, you know how I feel. I just feel like family issues, like, especially the stuff that looks like it's like really deep rooted like that should not be on anyone's TV. Like, I just feel like y'all needs to be talking in front of the lady.
Go and see the lady. Go and see the lady. Because not on my TV.
No, at the end of the day, we're watching the show for entertainment. Right. So obviously, chaos is going to ensue with that in thought, knowing that you guys are already not in the best of places with each other. So, yeah, no, I feel like Shawnee is the big dog over there. Should have never let Shantel be casted if that's what she's going to be on. All I've seen from the clips of this season is just them fighting. Them going back and forth. So to me, I feel like, okay, was that the point of her being casted? Was for her to come on there and expose her mom, make her look bad? Like, Shawnee.
That's a good. I didn't think of it like that, because that's literally all they've been doing the entire season. And Shani has been clear on, oh, Jackie's the same, and Jackie's this, and Jackie's that. She doesn't even refer to her as mom. Jackie's the same, Jackie's this, she's that. And she's talking amongst the other girls. She's became kin with Brittany Renner. There's another young lady on the show. I don't remember the person's name. However, I do watch the show. But the point is, she's new on the show, so I don't remember her name.
You know, I don't remember who she is. She's somebody.
But she became kin with the newer young lady and Brittany Renner, and I think that is pouring salt on the current wound, because though Brittany is able to relate to having maternal issues with her own mom, I believe Brittany, as a friend to Shantel, was projecting how she would respond to her own mother to Shantel, suggesting that's probably how she responds to Jackie. Also, Brittany not having taste for Jackie. So there's an additional something on top of it, which it makes it extra not okay. On top of, I am no one to judge about anyone and their religion and what they choose to do or whatever the case may be, but I've seen that Brittany transitioned Muslim and I don't believe she reverted, but I believe that she's no longer practicing as we saw her practicing.
Back in the streets.
I'm trying to say it nice. But yeah, she's not practicing, but she's, says that she still believes in Allah and the principles and all that stuff. That, again, I'm nobody to question no one's religion, but that for me is a bit of a flag because, But, again, I have questions for Shawnee because, again, I don't feel like that should have been, like I said, that episode could have been scrapped. It really, truly could have been scrapped. I don't want to see mother and daughter. I don't want to see you punch your daughter in the face. I don't want your daughter to be weaponizing, I'm going to use, call daddy, call dad. And then Jackie responds and, leave my husband out of this. And she's like, my husband? You mean my father? And I'm just like, well, how, Doug? Doug, what you doing?
So, like I told you the other night, because we spoke about this previously, but I told her the other night, I'm like, the way I see that Shantel weaponizes calling her dad or getting her dad involved in between her and her mom's spats tells me all I need to know about that relationship. I feel like in this situation with Shantel, I feel like she almost points all the fingers at her mom. And I feel like her father there as the secondary parent, as the person that's leading the family, I feel like obviously that says to me that he teeters on the fence a lot and he didn't put his foot down like he should as a man. Like I feel like there's certain things. That whole situation is just chaotic. I just feel, and like I said, I just feel like, and from what we've seen also of them, I don't think that this is like an out of touch judgment because I feel like, realistically speaking, everyone who's watched Basketball Wives, especially in previous seasons, you see Doug kind of seems like he just goes along with whatever Jackie says. So that tells me that he's probably like that as a father as well. So it's just like, you can't do that whole being on the fence stuff because this is the chaos that is bred around that. Like,
there was a part in the episode where Shani was telling one of the girls that she became friends with was that she remembered her mom saying to her like, oh, you need to go and clean your room before your father comes and like punches you in the chest or like kicks you. And I was just like, is that how you get the children to clean the room, honey? Because no, ma'am. Daddy's gonna punch me in my chest if I don't make the bed. But let's pivot to Evelyn remaining a bird for the entire length that she's been on Basketball Wives. Like, they've matured, but big birds. No longer little birds, big birds.
Grandiose.
They've matured. Matured to big birds. Because, again, for that episode to air, Shawnee, you just as birdie. And then Evelyn responding, and just how she deals with Jen and how she deals with anything on the show. There is necessarily no accountability when it comes to Evelyn. It's more of a finger pointing that I feel for Evelyn. Like she's not, I don't want to say a girl's girl, but I don't think that she's an amazing friend. She's only capable of being the friend that she knows how to be and that she's choosing to be to whoever the person is. So whoever you are and however you show up, she'll only be that kind of a friend to you. Unless you get on her bad side, then she's going straight bird. If you immediately get on her bad side, she's going straight bird. Don't mention her daughter.
I would hate to get to that age and still be on the same bullshit I was on 20 years ago. Like, I just feel like that's part of the reason why I have a hard time watching the show. Because to me, I feel like y'all have been on the show for so long. Like, where's the growth as grown women? Like, I just feel like I haven't seen the elevation. Like, it's still very low vibrational. Like, I'm just like
very low vibrational.
Where's the elevation?
And I'm gonna watch it though.
It's
entertaining. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna have my opinions, but like there is no growth. And I have to say that in watching it and realizing that there really truly has been no growth as who they are as people, it's telling of, oh well, you know, it's telling because you realize that just like you're a person, she's a person too, and if you aren't aware of yourself enough, you can be just that as she is, meaning she's just this stagnant. She grows in other ways, but stagnant in many other ways that we, the viewers, see on TV. And if I am only, as I'm only formulating my opinion off of being a viewer, I don't know her. In me being a viewer, I need to see where you have adjusted, where you have changed, because there were at one point people who looked up to you. And I'm not saying that celebrities are, you know, pedestals for people to look up to, but at one point in society, somebody looked up to you. And you never know if that person, you know, never watches Basketball Wives again. And then you come across the screen in a new episode and they're just like, oh, this looks like something from '06 that I was watching. It's 25, Evelyn. It's 25, Evelyn.
And they do.
What?
And they do. It don't make no sense. The way I saw her going after Jen with the husband stuff and all that stuff, like, to me, it was
so nasty and so rude.
And it just gave me, like, it was miserable. I just feel like, what do you, okay, this nigga's a scammer, cool. Like, I feel like, if she like it all, that's where I'm at in my adulthood. I feel like, hey, fam, you ain't dying, you happy over there, I guess. Like,
I always say that as far as Evelyn, I think that she knows how to, she likes the friendships where they're there for her and supportive of her. But she's not necessarily that person to her friends, which I believe that's a part of the reason, a major reason outside of what Evelyn let us know and what we saw as viewers as to why she initially had stopped messing with Jen initially, at one point. I truly believe it's that she doesn't necessarily know how to support a friend however that friend needs to be supported. She only knows how to receive the support and ask for the support, and she's been blessed to have people in her life that are able to just show up how she's able to receive their support. But she's never necessarily been that person to show up for friends how they would need the support. I remember when Jen was married to Eric, Evelyn had nothing nice to say about Eric. Nothing, absolutely nothing. I vaguely remember conversations, but I verbatim remember episodes where Jen would be experiencing something and she's talking to her friend, and there's no real response that she's getting from Evelyn, bringing it to Evelyn. Like, if I'm coming to you and I'm talking to you about a guy or a girl, you're coming to me about a guy or a girl, you're able to talk to me and be there for me and understand me and play devil's advocate. But Evelyn, on the other hand, it's this is my opinion, you need to leave him, and that's kind of it. That's not conducive to the friendship, because, like, maybe she do know she gotta leave him, but I want my friend to coddle me in the stages up until me leaving him, like, whatever that looks like. I don't need my friend to rush me and be like, well, he's been like this for the last 6 years, so you might as well just let him go now. Yeah, you don't think I know this? I know this. I'm here. I've been here. But however, as a friend, there's a way that you can deliver this. Everybody doesn't need, everything don't need to be so cut and dry. Yeah, we've known each other for 15 plus however long, because I'm sure it's been double digits for them. But it still doesn't discard the fact that people have emotions and things affect people differently. So where you as a friend may not really care too much about the person that they're discussing, you still have to be mindful that you are showing up for the friend, how the friend needs you to show up. You're not walking into that conversation to be like, I'm showing up for you to tell you, I told you I didn't like this person, and I know this person's not good for you, so you need to just do what you got to do and divorce this man. Thank you for that, but that is not... That's not all I need. But thank you. Now, how does what does that conversation look like with you when you just come in, give me that cut and dry, and I'm just like, oh, well, all right. Because what if now we're on the verge of working things out? Then what? I'm not comfortable telling you that now. I can't tell you that now because you're cut and dry. Leave him out of this. Leave him alone. I told you not to XYZ. And while you may have, at the end of the day, I'm still a person. I still have needs. I still need to transition. I still need some assistance. You know? So yeah, that's my take on Basketball Wives. You watched Atlanta Housewives last night? Yes,
I didn't watch last night, but I've seen a couple of clips of how it ended out too. So
I've watched the third episode. So since you haven't watched the third episode, I'm going off of the reunion, the third reunion episode. The husbands or ex-husbands were on there.
More Charles.
We had
in the room. He said, "Where your husbands?"
We had Charles on there. We had what's Drew's prop
for op.
We had Drew's ex-husband on there. We had Dennis, and that's about it. We didn't have anybody. Dennis came up there, and Dennis. I am proud of Dennis and Portia's parenting because when they had that spinoff show,
I know it was very.
That spinoff show was one of that spinoff shows actually. For me, perspective was the reason why they didn't get married because they were engaged. But how I remember the spinoff show ending was Dennis's mother wasn't fond of Portia and how she stood for herself. There's something with the men that you decide to include in your life and being aware of who their mothers are and how their mothers respond. It doesn't make their parents, it doesn't make their mothers bad women. It makes their mothers mothers. And mothers of boys or mothers with children, but specifically of boys, there's an attachment that they have to their boys. Sometimes the fiance or the wife or the girlfriend can see that. And some have a cold hard shield. And others are like, I can actually deal with this. Yeah. And then others are like, okay, you need to figure out what's going on with your mother because I can't do that. You and I are in this relationship. Your mother is someone that I will be building a relationship with. But as far as in our relationship, honey, figure out the boundaries with your mom. And that was the reason, from my perspective, that Portia and Dennis didn't get married. They kind of also said, Portia also kind of mentioned this in the third episode where she was talking about co-parenting with Dennis because Drew and, what's his name? Ralph. That's his name, Ralph. Ralph Pittman. Drew and Ralph, they are going through their divorce, and Ralph is a shady motherfucker. However, Drew is a naive, but also shady gal. And this is one of those couplings that they've met their match. And while Drew would do things to get under Dennis' skin, not Dennis. Drew do things to get under Ralph's skin subtly. Ralph is out there doing it on purpose because he knows that Drew would throw the rock and hide her hand. And he's like, okay, no problem. Understand that I'm king of this. I don't need to throw the rock and hide my hand. I'm going to throw the rock and say to you that I didn't throw this rock in front of everybody else. And have you tell me that I really did throw the rock and then gaslight you into how the rock flew over there and got to you. I never threw it. And Drew will sit there and go into why he did throw the rock. Drew, he said he threw the rock, honey. And he's also saying to you that I'm going to gaslight you into believing that I didn't throw the rock. And you know what you're doing, honey? Responding. And I get it. Responding because you feel like you need to defend yourself. But sometimes, do not defend yourself. Let them do what it is that they're doing. Let them. Sometimes you truly have to just let them. Because now you're dirtying yourself to match whatever it is that he got going on. It's not fair to you and your children, because the entire time you're saying that you're trying to protect your children throughout the divorce, but when you're responding to him, however you're responding to him, on things based off of the divorce, it's not protective from a viewer's perspective for the children. He even mentioned something about Drew's mom, saying that Drew's mom is still too involved in the divorce. And my thing is, if you are in a divorce and your mom is still too involved in it, where do you, as the daughter, as the divorcee to be, say, hey, let me handle this. Let me handle this, because it's clearly coming to an end. It may possibly can be salvaged. I don't know what it is that they're looking to do. But in the event that you're looking to salvage it or not, and you're just looking to be divorced and be done, having that boundary there with that parent that supports you just like that needs to exist. Because now, there was a point in the episode that he goes, he told a blatant lie. I don't recall exactly what the lie was, but Drew immediately got triggered. She said, no, that's not true. That didn't happen. And I'm like, that's what he wanted. And you just gave him that. That is what he wanted. And you literally just gave him that, because he know that wasn't the truth. And you're sitting here on camera telling us that it wasn't the truth. Mm-hmm. But this is what he's always done on the season before your divorce. So now him doing it during your divorce, for you not being able to pick up on that, you have met your match. And you have gotten so comfortable with that guy that you don't even realize that he's playing you, even in the divorce. Sometimes you really got to step back and let God. You really do. You really do. You really do, Drew. And I really hope the best for you and this divorce. But I mentioned all that to say Portia was giving advice, because remember, Drew and Dennis were doing recording and music, and there were speculations on sleeping together and all that good stuff. Portia found herself giving them advice. Once you find that common ground with yourself as a divorcee, to be able to co-parent for the betterment of the children, things will get better. She even said, Portia even mentioned that having a relationship with the grandparents, whatever that looks like, you as the person now have to create the new boundaries with those the grandparents, because now you're a divorce. You're going through a divorce. The dynamic is now going to be different. So now she's like, oh, you have to do the work. And indeed, you really do got to do the work. I'm sure the work isn't easy, especially when you got Ralph Pittman as a husband. That man is a walking billboard. He got on the episode last night and he was like, yeah, her mom and her, they were in financial trouble, and I stepped in. Sir, what? Now what? Bravo and everybody else needed to know that. Because all I knew that y'all was married and y'all was getting divorced. I was going based off of what I saw on the show. But now him telling me that y'all was in financial ruins, Drew, I already questioned you as an actress. But I mean, I'm sure you're good, and I'm sure she's a good actress, because she gets booked. However she gets booked. However, preferably, I'm not a fan of how she shows up in movies and acting style and all that kind of stuff. But a talent is a talent, and she gets paid for her talent, so okay, no problem.
I'm still not over taking that school man.
Not that school man. You are hung up on this. The game.
That's all I think of when I see her every time.
I've never watched the game, but I do say that I will catch I'll catch up one day.
Yes, please. It's good.
I'll try watching it one day. Yes. What else do I have to say about Atlanta Housewives? I miss Nene. After watching this 3-part reunion, I was just thinking to myself, oh, honey, this is nothing like when Nene was here. It's entertaining, but not as entertaining. Come on, Weave. What's wrong with my Bob?
something. Speaking of Nene and like just doing those reflections, I as well. This was my. It's been a long time since I've watched Atlanta Housewives. I feel like the last time I watched consistently was when it was during the lockdown when they had the reunion. I was at home and everything. That was the last time I like consistently watched up until this season.
Wasn't Eva on it that
yes
season too?
Yes, that's what I Portia told her to take social distancing. Okay. So I do want to say I really only wanted to watch the season just because everybody knew about the scandal that happened with Kenya and Britt. Because I know that Kenya has been putting on with the antics over there, I was like, now what did she finally do that they said?
What she did that they said we can't keep you here no more, honey. You got to go.
And obviously when I saw what she did, I was just like, yeah.
That was mean girl behavior.
As a woman, that was dirty.
As a mother with a daughter, Kenya, are you proud? Nothing can justify that. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely nothing can justify that.
Absolutely not cool.
Because even you saying how, however she justified it on the episode with, she was saying this and she was saying, you knew that girl didn't want any smoke with you the moment she sat down at the table. So you didn't have to do what you did at your store. You didn't. You chose to do it. That was a choice. That shows the
very premeditated choice on top.
Very premeditated.
He definitely went
to have a poster, girl.
Yeah.
But what even gets me with that is Britt going that she wasn't sure that the pictures are her later down in the season. Girl. What's happening? Who's in charge of production? Carlos. I know that you are not behind the scenes anymore, but I need to know how it was going because who was in charge of her? Because I know as far as production, like certain production members are assigned to castmates to make sure that they're filming, to make sure they have story and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, what? I don't know. I wasn't okay with her going. It wasn't me. Then who was it?
Who was it, sister?
Who was it? Who was it? And why was that the reaction for the initial episode without even knowing that was you? And then the follow-up episode, because the follow-up episode was when you were cowboy in tears and asking for the support of the people after showing up at Kelly's backyard gathering as if the star is here. Like, is that what? Like, I'm trying to think. Like, was that the intention? Like, what was that? Like, were you trying to one up Kenya? And like, that was the moment. Like, what was it? But I guess we'll never know because she never showed for the reunion. But I also know that if there's another season, I wouldn't want to see her on the next season. No. She's a beautiful girl. She may be successful. I believe she does real estate, she says. I'm not 100% sure, but again, not doubting that she's successful. But again, we can not have you on.
Yeah, I said that. I felt like Britt completely fell flat. I feel like it's like, all right, you're pretty. I feel like that's like her story. Like, she's like, oh, I'm pretty and girls hated me. That was her story for the whole time. And I just feel like on a cast full of gorgeous women, you're going to fall flat with that something else. Right. Would that just be in your storyline?
Because these women are stacked naturally. They came in here like this. So it's like, yes, you're bringing that, but like, we need a little bit more from you, honey. I was saying that previous seasons for Atlanta Housewives, my comparison is that this season that there was such less charity work and individual insights on whatever it is that they're working on. Like, I mean, we got to saw what Kenny was working on, but that was short because when we saw it, she couldn't make the next episode no more because that was it. I know that they did a trip to Grenada, and then they also donated proceeds for Grenada to Grenada.
I believe they had some like a hurricane or some type of natural
Right,
disaster.
a natural disaster. Right for that. But I believe that was it. I remember in past seasons, you would have Nene doing something, you would have Cynthia doing something, you would have Candy doing something, you would have Sheree putting together something, even if it never. It would always be something. But this season, it was not just this season, but like episodes since Nene truly transitioned from the show, you don't get much work of what it is that they've been doing. Even with Portia, because I know her grandfather had a foundation. And I'm not saying that her life doesn't go on outside of the foundation, but like we would like to hear a little bit more of the foundation, especially in today's happenings. We want to hear a little bit more than that. A little bit more for that. Yeah. And we the people are tired. Tired of not receiving the proper care, the adequate care, the timely care, having the resources, access to the resources. Healthcare looking to be just a business opposed to care. Like, and this isn't all across the board, but what we're seeing here and what we see here in the media today as far as healthcare is cuts. Nothing but cuts. Nothing but who's not able to receive anything, who won't be able to receive things any longer. Even with insurance companies, you're starting to see insurance companies cutting what it is that they used to cover in certain plans. Now they no longer cover it in certain plans. This is not a good place to be in the world as far as the state of healthcare, because that is, if not the most revenue generating thing in America. It's disappointing to see, just because when you walk outside every day, you see that people need healthcare more than anything else. Even within your workplaces, even within your families. Some people have jobs and can't even get healthcare. And that's like always going to be mind-boggling to me, because how? What do you mean I can't afford $400 a month as a single person? That's a bit of a stretch, because if a person is paying $400 a month as a single person for healthcare, how many times in that month are you seeing your primary care? How many times in that month are you going to a podiatrist, seeing your dentist? Whatever it is that you're paying for that $400 a month, how many times in that month that you paid that $400 are you going to go see the doctor? You're probably not. So again, like, that's a bill that you need to pay, right? Can you afford to pay it? Many people can't afford to pay it, so they opt out of it and pay out of pocket for healthcare and just hope by the grace of God that things don't go sour. That's not a way to live. That is uncomfortable, and I think that is what makes the state of New York specifically what it is right now, as far as midterm elections. The quarters are different now. The quarters are different. We're gonna have to chop because I'm freezing. Yeah, to see fellow New Yorkers struggling as far as not being able to afford health care, or not being able to find proper health care, or not having access to health care altogether, or no longer having access to resources provided by insurance companies. Now, that's disheartening to see, because somebody next to you is experiencing it and you don't even know it. There's not much that we, the people, ourselves can do other than advocate and take care of ourselves the way we see fit. That costs. But I really do truly hope that we find the light at the end of the tunnel as far as this is concerned. Like, this lets up soon. Fingers crossed.
I did want to say for the people who are supporting the cuts that are being proposed and made and everything like that. I do want us to all remember that, especially when it comes to things like health, that we are all human, and it takes nothing for you to need some health care. Anything can happen to you. You see what I'm saying? So
that's true.
when we're allowing things like Medicaid when we're supporting things like Medicaid getting cut and such like that, like I said, it takes literally nothing for you to actually need Medicaid. You can lose a job, you can get sick out of nowhere, and let's say the job that you do have, the insurance is not covering you fully. Like, Medicaid is needed for literally a lot of everyday Americans who are falling into situations that they didn't really have planned out. So when we are supporting things like that getting cut, we are setting the precedent of how we'll move forward as a society with how we're taken care of when we need it for our health, really. New York City. We're New York girls, by the way. And I just want to say, New York, we back, baby, right? Zoran done won the Democratic candidacy for our mayoral race. I know it's happened a little bit earlier in the summer, but child, I wanted to have a little moment because all my New Yorkers that left the city, everybody down south with us, they always want to talk about, all New Yorkers do is talk about where they from and how things are in New York. This mayoral race and the way everybody was acting over a mayor of one city lets me know that New York is not only the topic, but the top pick. All y'all that's down south, all my New Yorkers that's out of town, keep talking, because let me tell you something. Keep talking your shit, because they over here acting like New York was never that city. Baby, it is that city. Y'all are worried about our mayors.
It is though. It is that city. To want to create power moves as such just for the mayor. Oh my. Oh my.
Because you see how as soon as he got elected, they went right to the Islamophobia. This is okay now. We're just outright just saying these things as people in Congress and all types of these high official places are just not caring about their Muslim constituents when they're going after him with their results. Very interesting.
Very interesting.
Interesting times indeed. But Zoran, you got this, boy. We with you. We riding out. And that's that. Like I said, nobody that lives in Kissing Cousins, Kentucky, okay, can say nothing about New York anymore. Y'all care about our mayors. We are the boys and girls. Perfect.
So far as speak on that portion, I'm gonna talk on. No, hold on. No, you don't have to stop that. We'll just scrap this part. So we're gonna move on to speak on it, where I am discussing what's it like reading, learning, and applying the Bible today. It is a journey that I suggest that everyone at some point decide to explore. We are living in times that are written in the book. You really have to go close to your word, truly want to understand what is happening in today's world, and reference back to the Bible by reading it, highlighting, making your notes, comparing, contrasting, and actually having a foundation and talking to God about what it is that you're reading so that you get a better understanding of what it is that we are experiencing. Because we are experiencing what is written in that book today. I don't think that many of us, as far as millennials, I can say that I have seen many millennials as of late that are they've either gotten baptized, have strengthened their walk with God, Christ, whomever it is that they believe in. And I support that, because in a world where you have free will, you also need a reminder that though I do have free will in the world, these things didn't happen for the first time that I'm here. It happened before. What did it look like? And we may not be able to empathize or understand or see clearly what it looked like as far as biblical days. However, we can imagine it if we choose to read it, study it, and apply it to what it is that we're seeing happen today. I can say that for me personally, I'm familiarizing myself. They say that you have to know your word, and when they say know your word, it's like you wear it in your heart. You have it on, like you're able to reference this. I am not the Christian that I'm able to immediately reference it right away. However, I have it here, and I kind of have to go through it. This is new for me, and I'm okay with that. But I also know that people challenge that, especially today. If they don't believe, they want to know why is it that you believe. Now they start to question why you believe, and now you're looking to find justification that the other person would find acceptable as to why it is that you believe. I don't got time for that. I know why I believe. I read why I believe. I'm living in the days as to why I need to believe. And that's enough for me to want to continue to know more, learn more, study more, and share it with those around me. Because again, when you're walking in Christ, a lot of times your assignment is tied to the breakthrough of somebody else. Sometimes we don't know truly what our assignment is because it's not what we think it should look like. But what the Bible also teaches us is that you may not know what it looks like. Sometimes you're not supposed to know what it looks like because you are not the one that's ordering your steps. You are trusting God to order your steps while navigating this world. He has factored in every single thing that currently happens today in your renewal, repentance. He's factored all of that stuff in. But it's for us to now identify that and choose to go deeper into what it is that we're seeing. Because it doesn't just stop by acknowledging like, oh, he factored it in. Okay, no problem. I can go ahead and do this. You can do it, but you also need to understand why you're doing it. You need to understand who is telling you to do it. Because a lot of times, that voice ain't the voice that you think that it is. So you always have to, I will always suggest, I'm not going to say have to, I will always suggest that people get in your word, apply it to what you see happening today. And a lot of times the situations that you're going through or you're in, we play a part in our own demise or what's another word?
Destruction?
I don't know. Sorry, we have to cut this part. We play a part in our own demise or how we succeed. This doesn't mean that you have to get baptized. This doesn't mean that you have to be a Christian. This just means that you want to know a little bit more of what's going on in the world today and how it applies to the Bible. Am I living by the Bible? Am I living the way that God wants us to live? Because we are in a world controlled by man, but made by God.
Okay. Speaking of, the state of the world today, I just wanted to talk about, which isn't something that just started happening. It's been some years now. The fact that we are all living in a state of chaos. constantly. I feel like every day there's something new happening. It's just always something, you know, especially with our current administration and such like that. And I just want everyone to be aware of the fact that a lot of America is living in two separate realities right now. And that's very concerning for me. Like I said, with just the state of chaos, I feel like we don't really know what's true, what's not, it's like I said, it's always constantly something. I feel like that's the point. I am aware that's the point. But yeah, no, it's a really, really strange time, especially now. Like I said, just with the state of chaos, we're having things like AI being developed. And in America, unlike most places abroad, our AI is pretty much not regulated. In other countries and such, when they are displaying things that are AI, they have things like, you know, like marks in them and stuff like that. Right, that let it be known that this is not real, what you're seeing, essentially, right? This administration, like I said, is fighting really hard to make sure that stays unregulated, so that I'm sure they're going to use that to their benefit, of course. I just want us to be aware and get really into media literacy, like you know, just knowing what's real, knowing how to spot things that are AI, knowing those things. Just because, like I said, we're in a place right now where we don't really know what the truth is. Like, the realities are just so different, based on the everyday American's views. We're just in two different realities. Like I said, you can be, especially politically speaking. So yeah, just keeping that in mind, that we shouldn't take the truth for granted. The truth is so important. Yeah. And whether that be, you know, learning about facts or just searching for the truth through spirituality, like she just spoke about, it's important. The truth is the light, the truth is the way. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And just to piggyback off of AI being regulated, I look for different hairstyles and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm just scrolling on Instagram. Maybe it was this morning or yesterday. I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw a picture of some really, really cute braids. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at the braids and I was just like, this is really cute, mm-hmm. but something don't. Mm-hmm. How is this? This doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. I looked a little bit closer at the picture and some of the braids, some of the braids didn't have ends. So meaning it was a braid in the shape of like a moon, and it was like, it started here, it ended here, but there was nothing attaching to end out the braid.
So it's not a real braid.
And then I looked into the caption, and it was pretty much an AI generated photo of the styles, and I'm just like, and somebody will see this, take a screenshot of it, bring it to the nearest salon and say, I want this, and then be upset that the braider is unable to braid that braid in the front, to not have an end, to not tuck the braid. Do you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, the photo looks so real. The braids look so good. The skin was flawless.
This AI is flawless. The AI is scary. It really is. And like I said, you see how it's advancing already. Like, there's going to be a point where I feel like now we can kind of, if you're really paying attention, like, you can tell. But I feel like there's going to be a point where that's really hard to tell. Especially, like I said, the fact that they're making sure it's not regulated. Yeah.
It is.
We're in very strange times.
It's scary. It's really scary to see, because while it's beneficial in certain industries, to the masses meaning the people, mm-hmm. it's not beneficial. It's not beneficial unless you are truly able to tell the difference. But if you can't tell the difference, that's a struggle. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. And those braids was cute. The braids were real cute. Like, I probably would have
the braids. And
I probably would have went to the salon and been like, oh, can you
let me get this.
Can you do this? Because, you know, I got a little bit of, mm-hmm. I can get a little braid.
Hello.
Maybe I go to the salon and get a little braid.
The ladies were looking at you like, how?
And I was just like, this is not okay. So to hear you talk about it there's another video, an AI video that I saw with someone in the aquarium. They had like a really big hammer, mm-hmm. in the aquarium, you know, they have the sharks and stuff swimming, whatever the case may be, and somebody pretended to throw the hammer and the thing exploded. And I'm just like, now imagine somebody thinking that this is real.
Right.
Somebody
or someone who's unwell seeing it and thinking that they can go replicate it as well.
Right.
Giving people ideas. But yeah. Honestly, even with the AI, all the stuff that I've been seeing, especially with like the AI that have been you know, impersonating people who are black, it's just been like nothing but stereotypical stuff. It's just, I feel like we're going into a new phase of the world. And I don't know.
They're able to be a little bit more blatant about it now using AI if they want to, which is unfortunate.
Like I said, especially with how good this stuff is getting.
Yeah.
With how advanced this AI is getting.
Yeah.
Between, just like I said, video, anybody can, like, eventually I feel we're going to get to a place where people are not going to know, like, if it's AI or if it's not. Like, like I said, it's just that constant state of confusion, of not knowing. It's just, it's wearing on us already. I feel like it's just going to get worse.
Yeah. I can actually say that at a point, I stopped using Google and like trying to look up stuff because I wasn't able to tell what's real or not. And I'm just like, you know, I'm just gonna wing it and watch the news when I do. Search what I can when I can. But for the most part, I there was a point that I intentionally just stopped looking at stuff because if I looked at it, I would go into a rabbit hole of trying to figure out if it's real, opposed to, well, how does this affect me? I'm looking to find out, is this real? Is this true? Can I? And then in going down that rabbit hole, I'm looking at something else. So it's like you completely get distracted of what it is that you were looking to do, which is, what's the point? You get distracted of what it is that you were looking to do to the point that you're just like, actually, what I am going to do? Mm-hmm. And for me, it was bringing my brain back in. Mm-hmm. Just pulling my brain back in because I'm aware. Mm-hmm. I'm aware that these things are there, and the reason that a lot of times these things are placed there. And while it can be beneficial, it can also be very harmful. Because people, when you have access to certain things that's not regulated, people can do whatever they want to do with it. They can do whatever they want to do with it. And they can call it facts. How many times have we checked to see if Wikipedia is real and we find out that Wikipedia is funded? People can go in and edit and adjust and do whatever that they need to do with Wikipedia.
It's not a credible source.
It's not credible. So it's like, for it to be that with AI, as far as search engines, it's a little.
And then even like I said, with just the Chat GPT, I don't like any of this stuff. If you know me, I don't use it.
And I also saw somewhere that they said that messages that you use on Chat GPT or like AI generated stuff can be used as evidence in court if needed. And I'm just like,
people are using Chat GPT as a therapist.
What?
Oh,
no way.
Yeah.
No, that's a joke. No. I don't believe that. You know
okay.
You know what? I'm not gonna say I don't believe that because I have to believe it. Because a lot of things that are unbelievable, it's like, oh, you was for real.
Yeah.
But then I can see people. This kind of ties back into, as far as people being able to afford certain things. Imagine having to go to Chat GPT to use it as a therapist because you
don't have enough health coverage and stuff like that.
Oh my.
Yeah.
It's a scary place that we're in.
We are
scary.
And like I said, even just with ChatGPT in general too, like just the fact that they have us not using our brains anymore. Like I feel like it's just like, we're in murky waters.
I can say that, with there's another thing called Copilot. Microsoft has something called it's the same as ChatGPT, but it's just for Microsoft. Mm-hmm. I saw myself using it the other day just off of, it's pretty much the way of the world. Mm-hmm. You need it to enhance, you need it to adjust, and I was making some adjustments and corrections on some things, and I need different ways to say it. So while I'm used to using, or have been used to using, a dictionary or asking Siri, like, hey Siri, what's this? Mm-hmm. Blah, blah, blah. I used the AI source And when I say it would generate the entire, I want a pink unicorn with purple here, and it would reiterate the same exact thing to me 20 different ways, just saying it differently.
Oh, Zuri cropped that up.
I was gonna say, does that? But yeah. Anyway, what was that thing I just said?
Oops. I don't remember. I just threw me off.
Yeah. But anyway,
we gonna go to the next thing.
Yeah, next thing.
The next thing we're doing is our
Let's chat
segment.
So,
do you want to?
Right now.
And
oh yeah,
continue. So I just wanted to talk about something that's been an issue for me, and I know that a lot of other people out here, like I said, with everything going on, you know, we're seeing just lots of stuff happening right now. You know, people are dying. People don't have money for food anymore. It's like everybody's a little tight right now. It's a lot happening, you know. And I just wanted to talk about hypernormalization. So hypernormalization is basically just the idea of pretty much everything outside around us is on fire. And we're still sipping our coffee and walking to work. Pretty much. Right. Right. That was really taking a toll on me. Literally like watching you know, what's happening on the other side of the world. Literally seeing, you know, kids not being fed, being shot, killed, limbs all over the place. And then it's just like, oh yeah, but it's Tuesday, we gotta wake up and get up and go. I saw a video the other day. This lady was saying how she got on the bus and there was a man that was like full of blood all over him, like he was just leaking all over his face. And she said she got on the bus, she saw him, and she said she was about to walk past, and she stopped. And was just like, are you okay? Because she said she realized, she said, like, it really hit her, like, you know, this man is whole ass leaking, and nobody said anything to him. Like, everybody's going about their business. Yeah. She's
leaking
like,
blood?
Leaking blood.
Oh my Jesus.
Yeah. And she's just like, yo, like, nobody's even blinking an eye at him. Like, it's almost kind of like we're losing our humanity in a certain sense, and I hate it. And I thought about that when I watched it. I was like, damn, I don't know. Especially being a New Yorker, you know, we're very much like television. And I kind of was like, damn, would I have stopped to even have said anything to him either? Like, I don't even know if I would have stopped either. And that made me really sad. I was kind of just like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I feel like we're kind of desensitized to just like everything around us. It's just like we're watching all types of famines, all types of stuff happening, and we're just like casually just scrolling by it on our Instagram, like
yeah. That to hear you say that, it's something that's definitely crossed my mind as far as I wonder how other people feel when they see the state of the world today. I wonder what the response is like. And I say that has crossed my mind just off of I have a healthcare experience, and outside of that, I'm human. And in having experiences and being human, at some point you fall into a category of either the oppressor or those being oppressed. And whichever side that you fall on, if you are able to ask yourself how someone else would respond to what's happening today, you are more aware than the world wants you to be. Because the idea of it is, oh, it doesn't affect me, keep it moving.
This individualism?
And when we realize that it does affect you, it just doesn't look like it would affect you.
Or it doesn't affect you yet.
or it doesn't affect you directly, but it affects someone that you know and love immediately. And the purpose of the whole individualism, so to say, is to keep you focused on you. On you, you're production, you're probably working, whatever, so you're doing what it is. You're doing what it is that you need to do, and not stopping to see if anybody else is okay behind you.
Right.
Not necessarily looking back, not necessarily checking on the person behind you, but being aware of your surroundings and checking like, oh, is this okay?
Sounds like we're all in our own world.
Is this okay? And that is what that's it's scary. But I tie that into specifically making sure that you are able to regulate yourself and what that can look like for you. Like I said, you identifying that there are things happening and wondering, asking yourself that question, well, would you have responded? How would you have responded? Would you have even responded? Or also asking yourself, well, how does the other person feel about it? If you've ever badgered yourself for at some point not necessarily taking those steps to ask those questions, don't badger yourself, because the moment that you do ask those questions, whether it's out loud to a person or acknowledge that these are thoughts and it's for real. Is this still recording? What does that say?
Yeah.
Why is it red?
Less than 10% battery. Is that the camera's battery? Probably.
Yeah. Okay. Once you're able to truly identify that, you're on the path of making sure at least one other person is okay. And that's sometimes the only way that you can give yourself or keep your sanity in the moment. Sometimes that's all you can do with everything that's happening now, knowing that there are intentions behind a lot of the things that are happening and affecting everyone. Because I'm not going to say it's affecting certain people, it's affecting everyone. And some people just are able to move through it because that's who they are, and others aren't able to move through it. And if you are, whichever side you fall on, it's okay. It's questionable if you fall on the side where you just move through it and this is the way of the world and whatever, keep going. Because that in fact is not the way of the world. That is not the way that things are intended to be. You are supposed to stop and ask certain questions. You're supposed to stop and inquire on your neighbor. You're supposed to check to make sure that this person is doing okay. Even if you haven't checked on these people for the longest, if something just comes across your mind, I wonder how I would respond, or I wonder how this person is doing, reach out. That's a part of the way that you can keep your sanity. Because when you start to isolate yourself in times like this, you are essentially telling your mind subconsciously that you are in this by yourself. And that though people are being affected, you are the only person that is feeling what it is that you're feeling. And that's not the truth. It's far from the truth. Sometimes there are people that are experiencing way worse than it looks like they're experiencing, and they move gracefully through it because that's all they know how to do. Is it okay? No, because they're probably stressed out mentally. However, they could be aware that this is my reality. It will get better as long as I identify my portion and what it is that I can do to make this current situation work out for me. That's a part of keeping your sanity too. That's a part of saying, well, how can I fix this, even if it just involves fixing me currently right now? Because that fix in you currently right now, 4 days later can be the light for somebody else. This goes back to me saying your assignment is not always tied to your own breakthrough. Sometimes it's tied to somebody else's. So then you ask yourself, if I take care of me in the ways that I see myself screaming in this current time based on what the reality is, I may be able to show up just a little bit better for someone who I don't even know needs me. And being able to be there for someone that you don't know that needs you, especially during this time, that is the most selfless and humane act that you can do, that will release dopamine and allow you to feel, okay, things aren't so bad, even if you're sitting in the middle of a fire. There are other ways that you can, take care of your mental health, removing yourself from the situation, truly turning a blind eye to the situation. Whatever it looks like for you, always make sure that you are truly in control of what it looks like for you, and you're not responding the way that society intends or expects for you to respond. Because all it really takes is one person. It really just takes one person. I remember dealing with something at a point, and when you understand your own thing, you're dealing with it. So you're just like, all right, I identify this, I deal with it. All right, how do I move forward? And you start to move forward, but you don't realize that, oh, wait, I kind of need to sit here a little bit before I move forward and realize, okay, well, before I move forward, am I only responding to something that will affect me? Or am I responding to something general that how I respond is beneficial for me and maybe somebody else? Someone sees the way that I have responded, whether it's interpersonally or personally. Someone sees the way that I respond, and they take it up on themselves to go, you know what? Let me try and see what works for me. And it may work for them and it may not work. It can be a tweak, whatever it is. But all it took was for you to respond, to identify and respond in the way that you did, for someone else's light to also be lit, to then them carry that to somebody else. Because again, that's now you making it normal to check on somebody. This is now you making it normal to say, oh, since I had this thought, I wonder if. That's now normalizing what you know the way of the world should probably be. Opposed to, well, it ain't me, because that's a lot of what this climate is, politically and personally. A lot of it is like, well, it doesn't affect me. Well, I don't know. Well, I didn't see it. Well, I didn't. Was saying.
Yeah, I was like, that's what's been keeping me. I feel like I said, I've just been in this place of like, oh my God, what the fuck? I might not see what's going on. Like, oh my gosh. But I have been making sure that, like, in my real life, I've been making sure that I do things that do keep me happy. Joy's been since my resistance development. I feel like that. I'm at work, like, I feel like people want to know where my head be at with a lot of this stuff, because I feel like I make sure I'm like, no, like, in real time, I'm exuding joy. Like I said, I work with kids. I need to make sure that they're feeling joy. I don't want to feel like, I don't know, like, we do although the world is on fire, there is a level of like, yeah, we do have to just continue walking through it as best we can. But like I said, using my joy as my resistance has been what's working for me, sincerely.
I love that. Yeah. I think as of recent, finding the joys have been my newest thing. Very recent. Finding the joy has been the newest thing. Before that, I would say that it was literally tunnel vision, and just staying silent. And I realized that in just staying silent, it imploded inside a lot more, because a lot of the things that I'm silent about, it's like direct effects to people that look like me, direct effects to people around me, direct effects to people that I know. So it's like, while suppressing it, at some point, I realized that, oh no, you can't suppress this, because it's coming out in it's coming out your pores. It's coming out your pores in other ways. So now what? And the now what had to be, it was no one but God, if I'm being honest. The now what is no one but God, where I had to force my arm into just the joys, what the joys look like, make the joys, continue to move through it. Navigating it could be hard, but I always suggest that the moment that you start to realize, like, oh, this could be done differently, you do it differently. Because now you do it differently, you influence somebody else to do whatever it is differently. Now that's 2 people. And maybe they influence somebody else. That's 6. And then another 6. That's how I look at things, especially with the state of the world now. That's kind of how I look at stuff. Because you can't do this alone. No. You really can't do it alone. You can't do it alone, and you have so many people and so many opinions and so many things around you that's telling you that no, every man for themselves. Because in truth and in fact,
we can't do everything alone.
We can't do everything alone. However, the way of the world, it really is every man for themselves. Is that how it's supposed to be? No. We need community. We have to do things collectively together. And you can't climb on top of one and leave that person back down there because you're now where you saw yourself. You have to strategize. Well, how can I help you? Even if it's not pulling you where I'm at, how can I help you? What does that help look like? Sometimes people will directly be looking for a specific kind of assistance. If they're not telling you that, and you identify that they have a need, you can do 2 things. You can ask them, how can I help you? Or you're able to identify, this person has a need. All I'm in control of is how I respond this way at this moment. I only have the capacity to respond this way at this moment. Would that be conducive to what that person's need is or not? And then you go from there. But yeah, we definitely. Wow. We've been 7 months into this. Wow.
7 months into this administration.
And what feels like a million more to go. But you know what? The most that we can do is
half of Project 2025 has been already implemented. Only in 7 months.
Jesus. Here y'all.
We here, guys.
But you know what? I say this all the time. People will say this cliche. But the God that I serve, okay? You can do what you want. Man can say and do whatever it is that they want. But the God that I serve, okay?
All right.
And I'm going to leave that there.
Right.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Me no say friend, me say family.
Someone catch. So our Let's Hear It portion is where we will basically give you 2 songs that have either, influenced us or just been some type of sentimental value, or, just, like I said, had some type of connection to something that we might have been experiencing for the week. Our girl over here already started off.
Since we're there.
Yeah.
My song of the week is from the one and only Vybz Kartel that should have a Grammy. But that's me. I didn't, but I did.
I want to hear you sing that now.
No, but my song of choice is Best of Them. When that's a friend, it's a family. Some boy can't step to me. And some people are really dirty.
That's true.
And I really chose that song because it's the truth. you can see someone on the outside and they're
Mm.
beautiful, perfect, laugh with you, love you, think you're amazing. You do so great. You influence them. They tell you that you influence them. But they heart. Stone. Stone, cold, don't exist, bitter. Yeah. So I say, I picked that song and I want to leave it with a positive note. As far as, don't let people get the best of you.
Word.
Never ever let people get the best of you. People are always going through things, and you do too. And you may not wear it. And just because you don't wear it, and someone wants to get under your skin because you don't wear it the way they think you should, you remember to stand firm and that's not how I wear it, and that's not how it shows up for me. That's not how I wear it, and that's not how it shows up for me. You don't have to be this strong person that shows emotion on the outside because the other person wants you to do so. You make it look like what you know it is for you, and you keep that thought that it's not really me that's dealing with something, that's them. Their mind is getting the best of them, not me. I will persevere. I will move forth. I will grind and grow. What's your song, girl?
All right, so my song is from the Queen Bee herself.
Wedding fans.
It's called YaYa. It's from Cowboy Carter. I chose the song really because there's a line that she says, basically alluding to the history of Black Americans, and how no matter how hard people are trying to suppress Black people and the strides and progresses and the fight that they've had to endure, that it won't ever be erased. I just thought that was really important for right now. Like I said, with everything we see going on, all the initiatives that are being put in place to, you know, suppress Black voices, suppress Black people's progress. I think it's mostly important for us. It's also our duty to make sure that our children know the truth all the time, that we teach them their history, we teach them. It's our duty to do it. The school's not going to do it. Nobody's going to do it for us. We got to make sure that they know.
Yeah.
In order for these things to be carried on, for them to know who they are truthfully and walk in their power. And so that's really why I chose that song for this week. The whole album's been on rotation for the week, though. But yeah.
Thanks for watching and listen to the TNT podcast. Meet us here again, same time, same day next week.
Peace.
Peace.